How do you think you've been able to use your size to your advantage in your sport?
Most people think size is a disadvantage.
I'm going to talk about that too when you're growing up.
But you know, I had a judge tell me in 1978 that it's really nice that I'm finally doing well. But to please understand that I'll never be competitive on the international stage because I'm too short. How do you get past that, right? And, you know, being the short guy in class, you know, it's hard to, you know, it's like socially feel awkward. And to be the shortest or to be any ist when you're going through high school is not good. You know, so if you're an ist, then you want to be invisible, the most invisible ist. You know, that's the only one that's acceptable. But for me, in skating, it was perfect. You know, the fact that I didn't grow for 4 years growing up when I was sick as a child actually turned into a blessing because I'm smaller, so I recover quicker. You know, I can move quicker. If somebody tall goes up sideways into the air, they can't adjust. You know, and I can adjust quickly. And I was just lucky that my physicality and my personality was completely suited for figure skating. So I was never going to dunk a basketball. I was never going to play quarterback. You know, all these things that take, you know, size and height. So for me, it was gymnastics or figure skating, and they just happened to have a phenomenal rink in Bowling Green, Ohio, where I started skating. So for me, the size was a blessing.
And I was amazed at looking at some of the stats on your height when you were younger. When you're 10 years old, 48 pounds, 3 feet 11 inches. National average at 10 years old is 4 feet 6 inches, 70 pounds. How did that affect how kids treated you?
Oh man,
school?
I got teased all the time. I was the easiest one to pick on because I was sickly. You know, I wanted to be kind of always in the center of everything, and I was the easiest one to pick on. You know, and so there'd be times on the playground at grade school where I'd be really getting roughed up, and you know, I get teased about being adopted. I get teased about being, you know, peanut, shrimpo, dwarf. I get called every single name in the book.
How did you handle it?
You know, it hurt, you know, but my mother did something really important. When I was being teased about being adopted, she just said, say this. And so when the kids would say, well, you know, you're just adopted, you know, I'd say, yes, my parents chose me. Your parents got stuck with whatever came out. And it sort of ended it. I mean, that ended it. And so I realized that, you know, there's things I can do to kind of fend for myself, and words were one of them. If I could stay one step ahead of them verbally, then the physical side of it wouldn't be so rough.
When you did stop growing for 4 years as a kid, what were your parents thinking was going on?
They didn't know I was, you know, being adopted. They just, was it normal? Am I going to be small? Am I going to be, you know, you don't know. When you have an adopted child, you kind of go, okay, what's it gonna be? And I have two now. My daughter's growing like a weed. My son's, you know, put him on an American diet, and it's like, you know, he starts to get strong. And so they just, I think once they realized that I was really sick, they could see that I was getting sick. No muscle development in my legs, distended stomach, and that I was pale. That's when I started touring hospitals. And, you know, we go from, nope, no answers here. Let's go to the next one. Oh, no answers here. Let's go to the next one. Oh, no answers here. And it was finally getting to Boston Children's Hospital, where I had every symptom of Shwachman-Diamond syndrome. And so Dr. Harry Shwachman, who found this condition in kids, I had every symptom, and he put me through every test, and he said, doesn't have it. I don't know what's going on. I have no idea what's going on. Go home and live a normal life. Just go home and just take them off all the restrictive diets. And it was there that my parents needed a morning off because after 4 years they were shattered. And I go to the skating rink on Saturday mornings with other kids. And so it was the first time I was with well kids, really, on a dated, you know, on a big way, doing all kind of activities. You know, I'd go to school, but it was a little different. This was like doing an activity with well kids, and it was like, wow, this is. And then when I realized that I could do it as well as they could, then that was kind of like self-esteem for the very first time. And then from then on, I was going to be a skater.
When he told your parents to have you live a normal life, to, you know, stop going to the hospitals, the treatment, Was that encouraging, or do you think
It's a white
or
flag.
do you think they're thinking at the time that this could be it?
Yeah, it was basically go enjoy your days. Go enjoy your days. And I think it shattered my mom because I was her favorite. Don't tell my brother and sister that.
I know Sue would be mad because when
Yeah.
your parents brought you home for the first time, she wanted them to take you back.
Exchange me for a cuter kid.
Right.
No, yeah, you know, growing up and being different it's challenging. You know, it's hard. I'm past it now. When I was going through it, it was painful because, you know, I was weird or I wasn't right or I was wrong, you know, living in hospitals by myself, you know, all those things. But now that I'm through it, I realize that every single aspect of that built me to who I am today.